Councillor Orr has been good enough to join us in studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We're just 5 months out from the World Cup. Is this about preventing a real concrete risk, or is this more about sending out a political message?
I mean, I think there's a little bit of both. I mean, I think we have a duty and a responsibility to speak up about what's happening, and that can be a symbolic thing. But I also think that it brings up a larger conversation around the security apparatus and all its kind of different tentacles, and how they kind of interact with Canadian sovereignty. And so for sure, it's kind of twofold. But I do think there's a real risk of danger and harm to Vancouverites, players and guests.
What danger, what harm?
Well, and I mean, what we're seeing in Italy, we're seeing, a lot of protests, and we saw a protest around Hootsuite and, Patterson's involvement. There's other companies like Garda World and Rochelle, who we sell armored carriers to ICE, and things like that. So regardless of your sort of position on ICE, there's going to be outcry around this. And it's kind of our responsibility, I think, to get ahead of this and be preventative in terms of, managing any kind of boycott and protest and make sure that these FIFA games go smoothly.
Advocates in Miami are pressing FIFA to protect fans from overzealous immigration enforcement. They're worried about ICE during the soccer games in Miami. ICE has no jurisdiction in Canada, though. It's not as though ICE is going to go, around looking for what they call illegal, immigrants in the U.S.
Right. There is a clause in FIFA that allows us to work with, security apparatus in the United States, and that could include ICE and Department of Homeland Security as well. And that's what happened exactly in Milan in the Olympics, and it was maybe a day before that they were deployed, and I think we have a responsibility to get on top of that.
Can Ottawa say no to this?
Ottawa definitely can say no. Actually, Ottawa has to authorize this deal, so to speak. So,
are there not genuine security risks at agencies, like ICE, I suppose, a U.S. agency could assist with if there's some sort of, major emergency?
Perhaps, but I mean, we do have our own, thorough security apparatus with RCMP and CSIS. I think, we're in good hands there.
You're sharing this motion with Toronto, are you?
Yeah, we will be writing to Toronto to sort of, kind of share in that, sort of mutual sort of precautions.
So I'm just still trying to figure out what the worst case scenario is here. So some ICE agents are accompanying U.S. Participants, delegates, the team or the, political observers that may show up here, to take part in the games, to take in the games. Where does ICE fit in, and what specifically is the threat?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can sort of go over hypothetical scenarios and what that kind of looks like. But I think, in the end, it's about making FIFA run smoothly. And if there's going to be, and if we have deployed ICE or Homeland Security, I just don't see the games running smooth. There's going to be protests in the street. I think already our kind of involvement, tacit sort of support of the Trump admission is of concern. Our mayor was there in Washington, D.C. to see Trump get a made up peace prize, and I think that should concern all Vancouverites. So it's this kind of tacit kind of support that Vancouverites will kind of flood the streets, and we want to just get on top of that and prevent that.
Yeah, but really, can the Americans or ICE do anything about the fact that people in Vancouver are displeased and want to protest?
No, that's why we want to just stop that. I mean, if we can say, and I hope this will be unanimous on council, that ICE aren't welcome in Canada, and pressure the federal government to say no if any such request comes, I think that would be a huge win.
It's also going to be a huge win for you and Councillor Fry if you can get all of the ABC councillors to vote against this and cause a real divide here.
Yeah, I don't think it's about. Yeah, I think it's about sort of showing a unanimous front on this, and I think there's real appetite for that. As we saw, in the streets of Vancouver just the other day. So
there's a very slim chance that the U.S. will end up playing in Vancouver. So is all of this perhaps for naught?
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's the elimination round, right? So I mean, I don't know the odds for sure, but I mean, again, they could play in Toronto, and it is a federal decision as well. So that's why we're doing this kind of joint motion.
I'm no expert, but an expert in soccer just told me the odds are very slim of that actually happening.
Okay, good to know. I mean, great. I mean, then everyone wins.
All right. Councillor Orr, good to see you. Thanks so much for stopping in.